Oh boy, what is this? Let me okay, here we go. Away we go, you guys. We have some news. What is this? Let's see. What do we have? We have okay, Wall Street Journal news exclusive. Chess investigation finds that US Grandmaster likely cheated more than 100 times. What? Wait, an internal report reviewed. I'll adjust the scene in a second. An internal report reviewed by the Wall Street Journal alleges a previously unknown pattern of likely widespread cheating by Hans-Moe Niemann, the player whose September victory over Magnus Carlsen has rocked the chess world. Okay, let's get to the article. Let me adjust it now. Okay, but let's keep in mind, is this talking about online or over the board? Like, what exactly is going on? Okay, let me make this bigger, and away we go. Away we go. So, all right, let's go through the article. When world chess champion Magnus Carlsen last month suggested that American Grandmaster Hans-Moe Niemann was a cheater, the 19-year-old Niemann launched an impassioned defense. Niemann said he had cheated, but only at 2 points in his life, describing them as youthful indiscretions committed when he was 12 and 16 years old. Now, however, an investigation into Niemann's play conducted by Chess.com, an online platform where many top players compete, has found the scope of his cheating to be far wider and longer lasting than he publicly admitted. The report reviewed by the Wall Street Journal alleges that Niemann likely received illegal assistance in more than 100 online games as recently as 2020. Okay, two things. First of all, before we get really into the depth, the first thing is that Hans, I believe, was saying that he cheated in 2019, not 2020, but I could be wrong on that. You guys tell me. He's 19 now, right? So this would mean he's 16, or am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. This is number one. Oh, he said 2012 and 2016. No, he said 12 years old and 16 years old. No, you're wrong on that. So, okay. So anyway, okay. So I don't know 2019, 2020, whatever. That's not really the big question. Let's see what they say though. Those matches, including contests in which prize money was on the line. The site uses a variety of cheating detection tools, including analytics that compare moves to those recommended by chess engines, which are capable of beating even the greatest human players every time. The report states that Niemann privately confessed to the allegations and that he was subsequently banned from the site for a period of time. The 72-page report also flagged what it describes as irregularities in Niemann's rise through the elite ranks of competitive in-person chess. It highlights many remarkable signals and unusual patterns in Hans's path as a player. Oh wow. Oh wow. So this is the big drama. Again, what does this actually mean though? We don't know. Okay, so let's keep going. When it says Niemann's improvement has been statistically while it says Niemann's improvement has been statistically extraordinary, Chess.com noted that it hasn't historically been involved with cheat detection for classical over-the-board chess, and it stops short of any conclusive statements about whether he has cheated in person. Still, it pointed to several of Niemann's strongest events, which it believes merit further investigation based on the data. FIDE, Chess World's governing body, is conducting its own investigation into the Niemann-Carlsen affair. Wow. Outside of his online play, Hans is the fastest rising top player in classical over-the-board chess in modern history, the report says, while comparing his progress to the game's brightest rising stars. Important also because many people have been saying that as far as Hans goes, that there are other players whose charts, the rise in the rating is comparable. So again, I don't know if they have a link to this report or what's going on, but they're basically saying that everyone who's trying to use comparative charts is wrong, and that this is in quotes, by the way, very clear. It says in quotes, outside of his online play, Hans is the fastest rising top player in classical over-the-board chess in modern history, the report says. Or actually, that's from the report, sorry, so that's why it says in quotes. The report says, while comparing his progress to the game's brightest rising stars, looking purely at rating, Hans should be classified as a member of this group of top young players. While we don't doubt that Hans is a talented player, we note that his results are statistically extraordinary. Okay, now this is where it gets interesting because there have been a lot of data points. A lot of people have put stuff out. There's like Yosha, there's this Brazilian guy. Many people have, I mean, there's Punin originally, this Ukrainian guy. They put out these points, but everyone's saying their issues. So now I feel like when we see the report, I feel like you're probably gonna have like Harvard or like you're gonna have like these data scientists really looking at it, and we're gonna see what happens. Chess.com, which is in the process of buying Carlsen's Play Magnus app, is a popular platform for both casual players and grandmasters alike. It has more than 90 million members and also hosts big tournaments for elite players with lucrative prize funds. Okay, and okay, here we go. We get a chart. Okay, now again, we don't know what goes into all this. It probably is in the 72-page frickin' report, but at any rate, it says OTP strength improvement from age 11 to age 19, 25 linear extrapolation where needed. I'm not a data scientist, as I said yesterday. That probably has some significance. Okay, we have Andrei Esipenko, we have Norbert Abdusar, we have Hans Niemann. Now again, they're saying that so they're saying historically he has the greatest improvement ever ahead of Bobby Fischer. Vincent Kamer, by the way, coming in third, and then Magnus Carlsen in number 4. I don't know what the stats are, but if we are to believe that this is correct, this looks like a very basic chart. They are essentially saying that Hans Niemann, if I understand this correctly, they're saying that Hans Niemann has had the greatest over-the-board strength improvement in the entire history of the game of chess, surpassing, I mean, nowadays probably the third greatest player of all time, Bobby Fischer, but definitely someone who is in contention for greatest player ever. So this is serious. This is very serious. Okay, at any rate, let's keep going through the article. Hans has the fastest and biggest increase in his score over time in comparison to his peers and other notable players when considering all of their known classical over-the-board games played from the age of 11 to 19. Niemann didn't respond to requests for comment when he addressed the controversy last month. He said that he had dedicated himself to over-the-board chess after he was caught cheating in order to prove himself as a player. The controversy erupted in early September at the prestigious Sinquefield Cup in St. Louis, where Niemann upset Carlsen while playing with the black pieces, which is a disadvantage. Carlsen then abruptly quit the tournament, though the Norwegian didn't accuse Niemann of impropriety at the time. The chess community interpreted his action as a protest. The pair met again in an online event weeks later, and Carlsen quit their game after making just one move. Days later, the world number 1 publicly confirmed his suspicions of Niemann. I believe that Niemann has cheated more and more recently than he has publicly admitted, Carlsen wrote in his first public statement on the matter on September 26th. His over-the-board progress has been unusual, and throughout our game in the Sinquefield Cup, I had the impression that he wasn't tense or even fully concentrating on the game in critical positions while outplaying me as black in a way I think only a handful of players can do. Okay, when Niemann addressed the suspicions last month, he said the only instance in which he had cheated in an event with prize money was when he was 12. He said he later cheated as a 16-year-old in random games and that they were the biggest mistakes of his life. He also said he never cheated while live streaming a game. Okay, here's another chart. I would never could even fathom doing it in a real game, he said. Oh, here's a chart. Oh boy. Number of games likely cheated, and here are the events. We have Title Tuesday on July 7th, 2015. Oh my god, this was when he was 12 years old? I mean, he cheated in all 9 games of Title Tuesday when he was 12 years old. I mean, qualifier 1 for Title Tuesday 3-2 Blitz on April 4th, 2017. Okay, so this was 15, this is 17. Okay. Number of games, 10. Number of games he likely cheated in, 10 games. Pro Chess League. Oh boy. February 13th to March 2nd, 2020. 32 games. He likely cheated in a third of these games in the Pro Chess League. Games against Naroditsky. Oh my gosh. He played 14 games against Daniel Naroditsky on April 11th, 2020, and he cheated in all 14 is what they're saying. Most likely he cheated in all 14 games. Holy moly. Whoa, this is huge. This is huge. SEC Grand Prix, Title Tuesday Blitz. This was June 16, 2020. This was a qualifier for the SEC. I remember this event. Number of games, 10. Number of games likely cheated in, 10. Games against Krikor Mkhitaryan, the Brazilian grandmaster and streamer, July 18, 2020. 16 games. Number of games likely cheated in 16. So they're saying likely. So they're saying likely, which does not mean that it's proven, but it feels like they feel confident in this. Games against David Pravian, Dropstone, who plays in Title Tuesday. 8 games, likely cheated in 8 games. Games against Jan Nepomniachtchi, 7 games on June 20th, 2020, likely cheated in 7 of those games. Games against Stearman. Wait, Josiah Stearman is actually the guy who he isn't Josiah maybe I'm wrong. Isn't Stearman his friend who was in St. Louis? Where there was like a tennis picture of them, or maybe I'm wrong on that. But I think that's who they're referring to here. July 26, 10 games, likely cheated in all 10 games. Private match versus Benjamin Bach, August 10th, 2020. Number of games in the match, 6. Number of games likely cheated in 6. SEC Grand Prix, Title Tuesday Blitz, August 11th, 2020. Number of games, 10. Likely cheated in 10 games. Overall, we have found that Hans has likely cheated in more than 100 online chess games, including several prize money events. He was already 17 when he likely cheated in some of these matches and games. He was also streaming in 25 of these games. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The chess.com report contradicts those statements. It says several prize money events are included in the 100 plus suspect games, and he was live streaming the contest during 25 of them. It adds that he was 17 years old during the most recent violations, which subsequently led chess.com to close his account. A letter sent to Niemann included in the report notes blatant cheating to improve his rating in various games, including in one against Russian chess star Jan Nepomniachtchi, Carlsen's most recent challenger for the World Chess Championship. Niemann in 2020 confessed to the allegations in a phone call with the platform's chief chess officer Danny Wrench, the report says. The report also includes screenshots of subsequent Slack messages between the two, in which they discuss a possible return to the site, which is permitted for players who admit their wrongdoing. Niemann last month questioned why he was banned from the chess.com Global Championship, $1 million prize event. Shortly thereafter, Wrench wrote a letter to Niemann explaining that there always remain serious concerns about how rampant your cheating was in prize events, quote unquote, and that there was too much at stake. The letter added that Niemann's suspicious moves coincided with moments when he had opened up a different screen on his computer, implying that he was consulting a chess engine for the best move. Wow. We are prepared to present strong statistical evidence that confirm each of those cases above, as well as clear toggling versus non-toggling evidence where you perform much better while toggling to a different screen during your moves, Wrench wrote. Wow. So actually, you know, it makes sense because honestly, I assume chess.com tracks everything. So I'm betting, I'll just use myself as an example. If you think about the thousands and thousands of games that I played on stream where like I click on Streamlabs or I click on the chat just to pull it back up, I'm betting my performance is much, much lower. So I'm betting those stats are probably factor into this somehow as well. Or it's just like you have these thousands and thousands of games from everybody. Like you look at streamers like myself, thousands and thousands of my games go through the stats through the algorithm or whatever. You look at all the other streamers, you look at the games, like all this factors in. Okay. Chess.com has historically handled its bans privately, as it did with Niemann in 2020. The platform deviated from that over the last month with Niemann, the report says, after he publicly addressed his communications with Chess.com and is banned from the site's global championship. The report said Chess.com felt compelled to share the basis for its decisions. Wow. Wow, this is insane. This is crazy. Okay. The report says that chess.com uses a variety of cheat detection tools, including analytics that compare moves to those recommended by chess engines, studies of a player's past performance and strength profile, monitoring behavior such as players opening up other browsers while playing, and input from Grandmaster Fair Play analysts. Okay. Computers have nearly infallible tactical calculation, the report says, and are capable of beating even the best human every single time. The report says dozens of grandmasters have been caught cheating on the website, including 4 of the top 100 players in the world who confessed. Now, I think those 4 players, I think we know who they are, right? If I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, I mean, people will obviously sift through the data. Actually, I wonder if in their report are they going to list names. This is also a big question mark. Will names be listed? This is also a big question. Identifying violations in over-the-board games remains a major challenge. The main reason is that grandmasters who cheat require very little assistance. For a player operating in elite circles, a couple of subtle moves and critical spots can be enough to tilt the balance against a world champion. That makes definitively proving allegations of cheating difficult unless a player is caught in the act by using a phone in the bathroom, wearing a small earpiece, or receiving signals from someone in the audience. Niemann first crossed 2300 in the ELO rating system used by chess in late 2015 or early 2016 as an obvious gifted preteen. It took him more than 2 years to push that number above 2400 and another 2 to begin flirting with 2500 Grandmaster territory. In late 2020, he achieved Grandmaster status at the age of 17 in January 2021 and began his drive toward the rarefied atmosphere of the Super Grandmasters. This made him a relatively late bloomer compared to some of his peers. In the ELO system, the fastest way to make large jumps is to win a lot and beat people who are rated above you. Over the next 18 months, Niemann picked up more than 180 ELO points. Data collected by chess.com measuring the strength of his play shows a rise steeper than any of the top young players in the world. Wow. Our view of the data is that Hans, however, has had an uncharacteristically erratic growth period mired by consistent plateaus, the report says. The report also addresses Niemann's post-game analysis of the moves from his game against Carlsen, which top players say showed a lack of understanding of the positions he had just played. It says Niemann's analysis seems to be at odds with the level of preparation that Hans claimed was at play in the game and the level of analysis needed to defeat the world champion. Wow. Oh my gosh. This is completely wild. Completely wild. Okay, here's a picture of Magnus. Magnus Carlsen said that when he played prodigies in the past, they exerted themselves with great effort. Hans Niemann, on the other hand, appeared to play effortlessly. I'm in the report now? Okay, fair enough. In private, in a private conversation after the game, the report says Carlsen said it was unlike any game he's ever played. Carlsen said that when he played I know I'm duplicating it, but whatever. Okay. Okay, in a private conversation after the game, the report says Carlsen said it was unlike any game he's ever played. Carlsen said that when he played prodigies in the past, they exerted themselves with great effort. Niemann, on the other hand, appeared to play effortlessly. The report also addresses the relationship during the saga between Carlsen and chess.com, which is buying Carlsen's Play Magnus app for nearly $83 million. The report says that while Carlsen's actions at the Singfield Cup prompted them to reassess Niemann's behavior, Carlsen didn't talk with, ask for, or directly influence chess.com's decisions at all. Wrench had previously said that chess.com had never shared a list of cheaters or the platform's cheat detection algorithm with Carlsen. Niemann, speaking at the Singfield Cup, shared his own views of chess.com's anti-cheating methods. They have the best cheat detection in the world, he said. Now, that's the end of the article. It was written by Andrew Beaton over at the Wall Street Journal and Joshua Robinson. Now the report is not here, so I don't know. I'm assuming there's going to be a 72-page report that's going to be released at some point, which everybody wants to see and talk about. It seems very weird they would talk about a 72-page report if it's not coming out. So my guess, oh yeah, this is me. I'm playing Magnus here. This is me against Magnus. Okay. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if there's not a 72-page manifesto report, whatever you want to call it, is not dropped. Now looking at this, just looking at what has happened here, the fact that he has cheated in these tournaments, Title Tuesday 1, 2, 3. I mean, to me, the Title Tuesdays are bad enough as is. But then when you see that he cheated in the Pro Chess League as well, I mean, there are 32 games and he likely cheated in 12 of those games. This is very tough. Okay, likely cheated. Okay, likely cheated. Again, they've released this, which means they feel confident. I believe that they feel confident if this were to go to court, that they would be able to prove statistically that that is the case. So they got this from chess.com. There is apparently a 72-page report, which I assume they're going to release. It's a 72-page report, or maybe chess.com is giving that report to FIDE. I mean, nobody knows what the situation is. But I mean, after seeing this Wall Street Journal, after the Wall Street Journal report, I find it impossible to believe that there is not going to be a public release of this report. It seems implausible. You don't believe that it just stopped in 2020? Nobody knows. Daniel's reviewing his games. Oh my gosh. This is, I mean, and of course, to make matters even more insane, this is now being dropped right now. Now, somebody can tell me, but if I'm not mistaken, the Pro Chess League in 2020, what team did Hans play for? I feel like he played for St. Louis. I don't know for sure, but I think he played for the team from St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. But somebody can correct me, or was it like New York? You guys can tell me. Somebody tell me, what team did Hans play for in 2020? So I think he played for St. Louis. What do you guys? What is the footnote and the strength of the graphic and number 12? I don't know. You want, what are Daniel's games? I want to not like make this go away. He did play for the St. Louis Archbishops. Now the question is, if Hans played for St. Louis and this occurred, like, what happens now? I mean, what happens? Because of course, US Championship is supposed to be starting tomorrow, I believe. So this is gonna be wild. I will pull up Daniel's stream for a second, okay? Because the thing is, I don't actually know. You know what, mods? Can you get me Daniel's games from 2020? I want to look at the games with a open mind. I don't want to see like I want to look at, I just want to look at the games. I want to look at the games. So if mods, if you can get me the games, I'll look at it, and then I'll pull up Daniel's stream after that. But this is bad. This is bad. Oh, it wasn't St. Louis, it was Norway. So I'm smoking something. Okay, it wasn't St. Louis, it was Norway. So he played for Norway. Wow, even crazier. I mean, what a disaster all around. Okay, I'll just pull up Daniel's stream, I guess. I'll just pull up his stream. This is a disaster. And this is also a disaster because without looking at the without seeing the 72-page report, what happens? Like, it does not say that there is clear proof that he has cheated over the board, but they say that statistically he is the fastest improving player in the entire history of chess. That is what they're saying very clearly. So yeah, I'll pull up Daniel's stream. I'll just pull up Daniel's stream, I guess, unless I have the games. Daniel wants a call. Okay, sure. I'll jump. We can just jump on a voice call. We don't have to do cams. Yeah. I mean, we can jump on a call. Talk about an outlier. I mean, greatest outlier in the entire history of chess. Literally the greatest outlier in the entire history of chess. I mean, I don't know. Oh man, this is going to be insane. This is going to be completely insane. What happens with the US Championship? Because honestly, I feel like there's a real chance that now that this is dropped, you could have top players in the event saying they're not going to play against Hans. You could have that. I mean, you could have Fabiano look at this and see, like, you could see that he's done this, greatest outlier of all time. You know, they say statistically extraordinary. They could just be like, okay, well, I'm not going to play him. I'm just not going to play him. So now, I think where this is all going to shift to is, it's going to shift to St. Louis and what they do. All right, so I'm gonna